lane Veno, which I don't think Liquid have played yet. So everybody digging deep here in this first game to try to find solutions to new problems that you, going into today, imagine this, like you're either of these teams and you're preparing for the series, you're doing all your mock drafts and whatnot. I don't think this is what you were expecting for either team in your prep, right? So at some point you just gotta wing it, you gotta go with what you're used to as counters to other heroes, and largely they're doing stuff on a hunch, right? Let's see how it plays out. The Veno in theory is just really good.
Gonna get knocked back here by the flame break. He has backup though. See if Liquid can fight back here. Indeed, the Gale's gonna connect on pretty much all. Then the barrel strike comes in. They've taken out XXS. They can almost certainly go for more. Tianming in trouble. Can they find the deny? At least they can't. It's gonna be Nisha getting a double. They're not even done yet. Xingqiu, he had the level 1 star still. He's not got an easy chance of jumping away or anything here at level 1. See if they can finish him off. They can. Mickey's in with the body block, trying to see if he can pick up this kill as well. They'll get it. Instadia takes down Xingqiu. Liquid, they'll be starting this game off with 3 kills. One of them a first blood, and also the fact it's a double kill for Nisha.
There's always something about saying GLHF after crushing on the pre-rune fight. That always cracks me up. Yeah, I mean, what a setup there from Liquid, right? They're playing a defensive position. If the crush from XXS doesn't miss, this is a different story, but Liquid are ready, and this is one of the biggest strengths of Veno in the game.
Yeah,
level 1 fights, if you hit a multi-hero Gale and you get ahead, you can keep running him down. Also worth mentioning, Saberlight is playing with 3 Santa hats, so pretty overpowered. This Veno is effectively, he's 3-in-1.
That's true. Let's see how the lane goes. Oh, get the knockback onto Saberlight. Blood grenade as well. Azure,
dead.
They should be able to get this kill here. Low runs him down. Azure, they'll pick themselves up a kill.
The thing about Veno versus Ursa lane, it's actually extremely volatile, because if you ever miss the Gale,
you're dead.
It actually just runs you down. I guess the one escape Saberlight will have in this lane in general is he can TP to the tower, because his enemies don't have a single TP cancel, until obviously Bat's level 6, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here. That's going to take a while. But yeah, nice response there from Azure, and they know this matchup. Low should be very familiar playing against Veno's Ursa. He's a master tier Ursa. It's one of the classic counter picks. So he knows the limits within that lane.
All right, top lane. I guess in terms of the matchups, when this was picked and such, you'd expect this to be a pretty easy time for Mickey on the Monkey King against Slardar? Or does it change with the fact that you've got a good amount of stun and potential follow-up damage from Xingqiu if XXS goes aggressive on Mickey?
I don't really know how to place this lane with the Mirana Slardar. I feel like it's a kind of uncharacteristic combination. Sure, you can Slardar crush into arrow, but do you really have enough damage?
This could be another one here for Azure. He's got the stick charges. Blood Grenade's actually not going to connect onto Low. Either way, Low's not going to continue to chase. Tianming trying to do his best to bring Saberlight down. Won't get the kill here. Definitely getting some nice space here for Low to hit the creeps, and keeping Saberlight and Boxy not in the healthiest of positions, so they could go again, jump forward. Saberlight, he's just straight up dead there. A bit of a misread from Saberlight for sure, putting himself in a very risky spot there, Sin.
Yeah, I thought actually his TP was going to be on cooldown for longer. It will be ready so he can come back to lane straight away, but yeah, this lane is quite explosive, right? Keep in mind, this was a direct counter pick from Liquid to try to win this lane, and honestly, so far, not really getting the job done.
No, Low's picking up these kills.
He's doing pretty okay. When they get these kills, you see the Bat Rider of Tianming is running a lot of regen, so they should just keep Low on high health and make these counterplays. You're going to reach a point here where even if Gale hits, you're actually still in danger as Veno, because you're going to gap close with Ursa's jump as well as the flame break to knock you back in. So I think if Boxy ever leaves Saberlight alone, he's actually just going to feed. So very concerning, and it does lock Liquid a little bit in place. A lot of the time we see Boxy, make gate plays, maybe rotate mid. Probably not going to be an option here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because Saberlight, left on his own, if he's not hitting a 2-man Gale, he's probably dying in this lane.
The good news for Liquid, though, is the other lanes are going great. So Storm is doing very well against Puck, Nisha's sitting at 21-4 against the 16-0, and Mickey is very comfortable of top 20-2 against the 12-1. Obviously, their direct counterpick to this offlane Slardar was the Monkey King, and the way Liquid built this draft, Azure weren't interested in pivoting this to a safe lane carry Slardar or a mid Slardar. So Mickey will be enjoying this. And I also don't know about the Mirana against Chen, whether I would consider this a solution. All right, here we go. The play we talked about.
Towards Saberlight, he'll get the Gale back out, but already the swipes are stacking up. Saberlight's dead again. Boxy not going to be able to take out Low in return. The Bears perfectly fine. It's a few times now, and they're doing it very well. Of course, the Gale come back up towards the end of that play, but Azure very much trying to abuse the window in which the Gale had been used earlier to throw out harassment onto low, punishing Saberlight time and time again. It's 3 deaths now for him in that offlane.
I reckon the play from Liquid here is going to be a Chen rotation bot through the gate, because Mickey should be relatively safe even in a 1v2 for a little bit. Miran and Slaughter are not exactly the strongest lane. If you do a good mischief play and you block some of the damage, you can probably stabilize a little bit. And also, the play from Insania doesn't need to be very long. You can just gate down, get the kills, gate back up, and be back to Mickey. It is something that Ursa is exceptionally vulnerable to. This hero sucks when he gets backstabbed because he doesn't have any way out. And as we've already established, there's plenty in the way of control on this offlane from the Liquid side. But yeah, imagine if this bottom lane was going poorly for Azure. This game would actually be looking really grim.
Yeah, Low and Tianming have been playing it very well. You know, I'm sure, you know, Low as an Ursa player, he's experienced many a Venno picker against him in his lanes in the past.
Yeah.
He knows how to deal with it.
Good
Same
scan out
said it
here.
for his support.
So the scan finds Jinq looking for a mid play. Insania is going to go over and cover it, and this is not going to lead to a kill for them. But
Oh, in fact, mid.
Left.
Nisha.
Wait, what was that?
A very risky route to take, right? Walking along the Radiant high ground there.
I just don't understand what the plan was. That felt like a... Was there a rotation in that I missed? Was Monkey King actually there for a moment trying to set up on it?
No. They had Insania sort of in the neighborhood, but other than that, it was just the two of them.
Yeah, there was no catch available, so essentially just walked up on Puck's high ground, took the full spell burst from him and Jinq and just died. That's a very big kill for XM to get. He's now going to get level 6, retreat to base, and can actually make a TP rotation now with Coil if he wants to show that off for the first time.
Definitely going to be considering it here. He's going to hover back towards the mid. Maybe see if he can get the 6-minute power rune. It's going to be the illusion top. Nisha's going to be able to grab it. Top lane. Mickey just getting dove upon here with Low turning up to the action. Low the one to pick up the kill. As it ends up being that the carry Ursa that turns up to top to take down the enemy carry and puts the pressure onto this tower. Despite that explosive start that Liquid had at the beginning of this game, outside of that, this has been fantastic for Azure. It could have very easily gone a different way. When you kind of get that, a mid-storm gets a double kill first blood against you, things could start to spiral out of control. They really have not here, as Azure have stabilized this game perfectly. That's
a really good point about how much Nisha was winning the mid lane. He had a huge advantage, so he was meant to, and then giving that 1 kill over to the Puck kind of stabilizes things. Also want to point out this top lane move that we just saw from the Ursa. I would say, for the most part, it's rather uncharacteristic for Azure, but this is what Gaimin did to them yesterday. They were bringing their safe lane carry to the enemy safe lane very early on through the gate. Duracho did that 2 games in a row.
Well, see, Saberlight does TP over to make sure that Tianming's not able to steal the Wisdom Rune.
I think he might survive here potentially anyway.
Still got a Fairy Fire.
Get the rune. He
The
will
Fate
not
Bolt's
survive.
there. They protect the Wisdom Rune, and they're able to take the kill.
I wonder if he could have found a TP angle in the trees there outside of vision, but yeah. Nice coverage from Liquid to protect that rune. Very important that... This is, in a way, the first kill they get on the board, if you think about it. They got 3 kills before the lane started, and then they lost the laning stage 5-0 in terms of kills. But yeah, the CS is still looking pretty healthy.
I mean, look at this mid. They were really going to get aggressive there. They're even bringing in Low, level 5, to maybe try and capitalize off a Dream Core setup. So, Low, he's hungry for action.
This is some next level stuff. This is the safe lane Ursa kind of roaming. Top lane, though.
They'll punish XXS.
Yeah.
Of course, with their focus around mid, Azure, they've left XXS on his own. Liquid, they'll get the kill. Mickey to pick it up. I mean, Low, look at him sort of trying to hide from the side. He's just caring about hitting the heroes right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's going a little bit too far here. I really like the gate play top, but I think just go back bottom and start hitting some creeps. Like, this was getting maybe a little bit too cute. I think the mid play, if it works out, it's easy for us to say, right? Because that would have been such a surprising play that you wouldn't expect Nisha to see it coming. But at the same time, if it fails, you just wasted so much time and really fell behind on the CS. Keep in mind, he was winning the bottom lane, right? Now he's behind Venno's CS.
Gonna play for this. XM does have the coil available if he wants to try and make a play in return. Mickey's starting to fall low. There's the coil. It will just be used defensively. Holds them back and allows XM to escape.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tianming also showing up towards this top lane. Gonna see if he can maybe deal with some of Insania's army here. And with the Fireflies, he's going to get a large amount of it. He cost his life, though. Boxy and Mickey, they're hunting for him. He's in a bit of an awkward spot up here, but they'll see him and they'll catch him with the nukes. XXS, see what he can get in return. Closing in onto Insania. Boxy and Mickey waiting on their cooldowns until they're able to help out. But Xingqiu comes in with a beautiful snipe from the side there. Mickey not expecting that at all. As Xingqiu just comes in and just nukes down Mickey on a low HP as he was. They get the 2 kills there. Nisha on his own, so not looking to make a jump onto XXS. Couldn't quite get there in time to turn things around. See the cooldown for XM. 15 seconds and Coil's back up. Him and Tianming trying to make something happening. We're here with it with this Dream Coil back in play.
Yeah, Low is just being very, very patient here, letting Saberlight play the hard camp.
Yeah, this should be a pretty easy kill. I mean, if anything, okay, the TP's there.
Not gonna happen.
Oh, it's not gonna work. Low. It's got the damage just in time, that final swipe coming in, and yeah, barely needed the rest of the rotation. He pretty much had that on his own there, Low. The tips coming out, they know that there's a chance they're starting to get into Saberlight's head with the amount of times they're taking him down. Back over towards the mid, XM and Tianming head over. They've got the stolen orb, but it doesn't matter because they're coiled. Boxy can't jump to safety. Azure continue to pick up these kills, make these moves that Liquid aren't able to match so far.
Yeah, with this haste rune now on XM, he has more potential around the map, even without Coil. He can play with so much freedom when you have a haste rune in this game, because essentially there's very little lockdown on the side of Liquid to deal with this puck, so very much get in there. This mid play will also likely result in a tier 1 tower unless Liquid bring massive reinforcements here. They'll bring the Rubik for now, but yep, that tower's gone. You're probably getting the deny, and they will. So yeah, all things because this is not high.
Top lane, they're looking for the kill. They're going to dive in onto Mickey, and with the fact that Azure were able to force that reaction mid, Mickey, he's not got any backup coming in. There's a hand of God. Is he able to jump out in time? He's not. XXS closes in with another crush. They take Mickey down. Insania trying to play around with XXS, but Xingqiu's here. Insania's not going to be able to push on forward with his summons, with the neutral creeps to try and threaten this slaughter whatsoever. Azure bully him back, and they'll get the space to take this tier 1 tower on top of taking Mickey's life.
It's a really healthy sign for Azure to be able to do this in the first 10 minutes, considering they got 3 kills on Liquid
yeah,
before the
this is
room.
huge for them.
And also that this was their Achilles heel yesterday against Gaming, was this stage of the game. And you're playing against a Chen strat, and you've largely overcome what could have been an absolute
and now in the mid
beatdown.
They're going to be able to get the jump onto Nisha. Azure,
they're making all the moves.
They're looking fantastic. You look back to, as you say, how we saw them do yesterday. They got completely crushed, but coming in on this lower bracket final against Liquid, and with that sort of first moment of play at the beginning of this game against them, they're just jumping all over the place. They're up to the tier 2 now. See if they can get away with this. Liquid might be able to punish it this time. They'll look for Tianming. They'll get the bat. But at the least for Azure, the rest of them should get out fine.
Yeah, that was a very clear back call there from Azure. They immediately just turned tail and ran on everybody else. Xingqiu will snipe a boundary run on the way out, and yeah, it's nice for Liquid to get that kill and get a little bit of space, but you rotated 4 heroes to kill a 5 bat is essentially what ended up happening there. The end result, not really that great. You do wonder when Liquid's lineup really starts coming together, you know, as a Chen strat, you've got this Veno that's a very, you know, slow offlane hero that wants action to come to it, or at least wants to be part of fights. And finally, Saberlight is going to become a part of something now with this smoke play.
XXS surely is very dead here.
Yeah.
They're all just running at him. Put the moonlight. TP's starting to come in. And detection?
Is he actually?
What?
Is he? He might be dead.
I think
he is actually fine. Did they not have?
Did they not have any detection? There's 4 of them there, wasn't there?
No. Okay, they just didn't have...
Okay, well, XXS, he's happy with that one.
The audience are cheering. It's like, this is like my pub. This is very relatable.
Oh, no.
Whether you're 1K or 6 in the crowd, this happens every Mirana game.
I mean, there hasn't been a lot of Mirana played. Maybe Liquid just forgot what the ult did.
Genuinely, that is just one of the things where it's just habit, right? You haven't played against Mirana for your last 20, 30 games. Probably just didn't cross your mind. You're like, oh, wait, we forgot to buy dust this time.
Okay, well, things continue to look up here for Azure. 3K lead now.
Low has a 13-minute battle period against a Veno lane. This is about, it's not getting better than this if you're an early
This
player,
is some pretty perfect stuff. I mean, he's got
really
pretty much what Grandmaster tier it's showing. You know, this guy, he knows how to play the old bear. And this was even with sort of like, there was a minute of this game, right, where he was kind of taking a little walk to mid, taking a walk back to bottom.
It could have been even faster.
It really could have.
And Yeah, this is also...
Crazy timing.
I guess, again, keep in mind, this is the first time this hero's even picked all tournament, right? So, again, in terms of like familiarity, sure, Liquid knows how to play against Ursa. It's not like, oh, I've never played against Ursa before, but there's a little bit of, you know, recency. Are you in the habit of it? Is your read on this patch, is Veno really the solution nowadays? You know, there's a lot of question marks. Also about the playing against a 5-bat, how often do you do that? You know, Azure really coming in to try to surprise, and it's paying off.
I think so. I think, yeah, the outcome of that bottom lane has definitely sort of thrown a spanner in the works for what Liquid were planning to do with their draft.
And we've seen Saberlight as a stand-in for this team do really, really well. I feel like this is one of the worst positions he has had to play from in the tournament so far.
It's going to be tough for him.
And he's not playing, you know, the kind of hero where I can initiate for my team and everything's going to be great and we're going to follow through. Like his stereotypical heroes he's been playing in most games have been a little bit more on the, you know, frontliners like Night Stalker, or he's played Dawnbreaker, you know, these kind of strength heroes that can get in there and get the job done. Veno is a quite different beast, and this hero is really awkward when you fall behind as a team because it only really does one thing, and that's be disruptive and, you know, slither around and look for big fights. But if you're not the ones initiating the moves, you can find yourself in this awkward limbo where it's like, what am I going to do? You know, like, what's my purpose in the game? You're level 9, the Ursa's level 12. Yeah.
Tianming ready to dive in. TP's coming through. Can they burst? Mickey, they'll get the drag back. Not quite, in fact. They didn't get the snap back on the coil, so Mickey's able to put the Wukong's command, and with the reaction from Liquid,
Nice respawn.
they'll take down Tianming and keep Mickey alive.
Yeah, well played. They needed a little bit more juice there. Obviously, the combo of Azure for that gank don't really have the most in the way of burst damage. Puck has a couple of spells, and then Bats is slowly whittling him down. And Hand of God, a nice solution to that problem. A couple of TPs. They get the 5-bat, and they keep their monkey alive. That's well worth it. Keeping Mickey alive right now is very important, because we haven't really talked too much about the Monkey King against Ursa matchup. Obviously, a big part of why Azure did pick this hero is that it's one of the only melee heroes in the game that can truly overwhelm Monkey King. Even in his ult, you can die to this Ursa. The damage just becomes overwhelming. So with Low doing this well, definitely important to keep Mickey on track here. If he falls behind too much, then the Ursa is going to be having him for breakfast all game. And he also has Corrosive Haze, you know? The matchup's already bad enough as it is for the Monkey, but you add that minus armor on top.
Yep.
It's not easy being Mickey this game already.
Not
I think
all.
it's going to be tricky.
And they're getting the items to sort of buff and enable Low that bit more. The Solar Crest is already done on Xingqiu.
Yep. How many Solar Crests are we looking at this game? So there's one on Chen, there's one on the Mirana. Is anyone else eyeing it up right now? Doesn't look like it. It's just going to be a 1-for-1. No, never mind. There's going to be a crest on Tianming as well. So both supports on the side of Azure will be running those. Obviously a great item in general this patch. I think it's considered one of the absolute best right now after the changes. Allows you to do different things. It helps against towers, it helps against Roche. You can put it on yourself to save yourself as a support against a hero like Monkey King or Storm jumping you. It can be the difference maker. Feels real nice. And Ursa doing Ursa things. Classic. Looking for that first Roche. We'll get it minute 17 this time around.
XM is going to get jumped. Nisha able to get him with the silence, and they'll catch him by surprise there with the Orchid reveal.
Nice find. Feels like Liquid have found a little bit more of a... Oh, hang on. Low has his ward. He wants to jump.
He wants to go for a little bit of a solo play here.
Yeah. He's waiting to have the second overpower ready.
Yeah, no, not a chance there for the Chen. Same time, Saberlight's found Tianming, or Tianming found him. He's going to use the lasso, but Boxy will turn up to help out, as Tianming will get punished for trying to make something happen there. I mean, they pretty much had the 4 members of Liquid coming in just in case there was to be further backup from Azure. It wasn't the case, it was just Tianming on his own. With that kill, though, in mind, Liquid, they're going to try and smoke up and play aggressive into Low's Aegis.
Yeah. This could go really well if they get the free pick. Maybe you just take the pick and then get out. Oh, quick dagger there from XXS will escape the Gale.
That makes things a little bit more complicated now for Liquid. Yeah. Unlikely to continue chasing here, as Low and XXS will get out. And that timing for Nisha with the Orchid, it was nice in that he caught XM out the once, but he does now have the Yules done on Puck. So Orchid is going to be the counterplay online here for XM if he gets jumped again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Speaking of XM, he's found this new neutral item, the Whisper of the Dread. Very nice item on Puck. You get that mana pool, which is not the biggest part of it, but 10% spell damage is really welcome in this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Gonna look to amp.
Radiant's middle tower is
Just that
under
little
attack.
bit extra. Puck is one of those heroes where sometimes you know you're just that close, you know, all of your spells combined is not quite there. But we get Witchblade, you get Whispers of Dread, and this might be the difference maker between whether you can solo the Rubik in a burst or not, especially considering Hand of God is a part of the game as well. It's extra amp. Gotta keep a lookout for it. And again, Dota a lot of the time is a game of feel, right? These players play it a lot. Some things are just second nature, and whenever a patch comes in and shakes things up like this, you know, the Puck suddenly has maybe a little bit more spell damage than you were expecting. You might misjudge situations and be like, how did I die? You know? Just a little bit sometimes. It's not much more than the Vambrace, obviously. The inversion of the Vambrace. You might not consider it. We'll see.
I think slowing down a bit here. I think, you know, for Liquid, getting their next set of items online, we're closing in on the pipe for Insania, so certainly help out against that burst from the Puck and the Bat Mirana combo that Azure have been hitting pretty hard with.
Right, eyes on Lu. Let's see how this works nowadays.
Should still be able to solo this right with the ult.
Okay. Jinky will miss the arrow on the Tormentor.
Jinky, yeah, he's got to be careful there. A lot of damage himself, but indeed, they have no struggle taking this out with the bear. Tormentor gone, shard for Jinkyu.
Widely regarded as one of the weakest shards in the game, this one though. The leap one from Mirana. So you get an extra charge, and you can, I believe this got changed at some point, so you can choose how you face when you leap, right? So you can like angle your hero as you arrive.
Yes, so you can get some cool angles for like a quick
some angles
arrow.
For the arrow, and you get the, still get the fire, right? 170 damage. It could be something. Again, it's one of those things where you combine that with the Puck. Maybe that's the slight extra bit of damage you need for the kill.
I don't think he's going to be ready for this smoke gang. They'll catch him by surprise.
Nice and easy. Yeah, he's starting to, again, this is just a classic Venno problem. Lane didn't go well. Team isn't playing too aggressively as a group. Where do you go? You're going to have to go and farm somewhere statically, sit there with your Plague Wards. If you get caught by Moonlight, if you get caught by a smoke, you don't have anything in the way of defense, you're just food. Levels, not really anything to write home about. Almost level 11 on the Venno, XXS 12.5 on the offlane Slaughter, who laned against Monkey King.
And if they bring low round it, I mean, maybe even without low, they could potentially take away Liquid's Tormentor. They're going to find him in the trees! Jinkyu able to snipe him there, catches Boxy, TP's starting to come in, but the rest of Azure, they're ready to connect. Azure, I think they're happy to take this fight low. He could consider fighting this. Under the tower might be a bit too far. They'll let Tianming die under the tier 2, but the coils down onto the 3 of them. Still a bit too far of a dive here for Azure. Whilst they do add the numbers, they're not going to throw things recklessly into a fight underneath the tower, so they'll hold back.
Yeah, very clear there what Tianming was going for. He was sitting right next to the Storm TP and wanted to instantly lasso, but Liquid were well aware of it. They were ready.
Yeah, now they'll make sure that they can get this Tormentor before there's any other chance for Azure to steal it.
So 1-for-1 split on those. You're going to see the replay of it here. So first this arrow onto Boxy, really clean there from Jinkyu. Nice angle. There's no escape path for Rubik, so they'll claim that no problem. And then instantly walking down here, but there is a ward seeing Tianming getting in position as well as the tower, to be honest. So.
And I think very necessary that Liquid did bring in the full 3 of them. Maybe if it was just 2 of them, Azure, they may have considered diving that. But Liquid having enough numbers there to put off Azure from going for an aggressive play.
I think the Puck spells were also still on cooldown from the Rubik kill. Otherwise, if he could have silenced on arrival there, that whole situation could look very, very different. We've got the shard for Liquid, Rubik. So they have the defensive toss now on the telekinesis. Quite nice against Ursa. Obviously, Puck coil is a little bit of a problem, but at the same time, it's one of those heroes where you can snap the coil and then get thrown out after, so you get enough distance to maybe get away from an Ursa or Slaughter follow-up. But you got to be so careful against these Azure heroes. There's a lot of burst now. The Ursa BKB online. He's almost completed Basher. If he finds somebody to jump, if you don't have Force Staff ready, I genuinely think Low can solo any hero right now from full to 0 with no counterplay. There's just, I guess Boxy has to be the man of the match now with the telekinesis save. That's literally the only solution I see to an Ursa getting on top of a hero with Bash.
Yeah, with that in mind, I think Liquid, they're sticking together as 5. They'll get the setup onto XXS. there going to be any sort of assist for him? They can't get him out of there. XXS is going down. The Boundless Strike connects onto another. They're going to try and turn this into a second kill. They get the control here with the telekinesis.
Wow. Nicely done.
Quick moves from Liquid as a team guarantee them the 2 kills and a chance to push on for the tier 2.
That was really cleanly set up on the follow-up kill. Max range Boundless into the Rubik lift into Centaur Stomp from the Chen. I think Xingqiu really thought he was safe after. He went for the Solar Crest play to try to delay the death on the Slardar. Did not expect he would be dying on his way out. So nicely done Liquid there. Finding the 2, probably the tier 2 tower as well. Low looking to trade top, but yeah, has to be a little bit wary of the missing heroes on the side of Liquid now. Rubik fogging. He will respect that. Will not get a tower. Not much of a trade as a result here, so nice bounce back there from Liquid in this situation. Still, looking at the net worth, the Ursa is very far ahead. Just waiting for that moment when Low is going to find his entry truly into the mid-game. Close to the shard now, too. He will look for a Boxy snack here in the mid lane. Quick reaction.
Very, very quick with the force and the telekinesis. Boxy was ready for that one. XM. Maybe seeing if he could still catch something. A blink out as soon as he catches wind of Mickey there alongside Boxy. Look to double back in here with the Moonlight Shadow. See if Low gets another chance to get that jump.
See the mindset here from Nisha, quite interesting. His level 15 talent choice here is going to be the 250 health, overtaking static remnant damage. So very aware here of the potential risk of just getting one-shot comboed. So he's going to take the defensive talent on Storm, who a lot of the time will, feel relatively safe in offensive plays. Just recognizing that huge amount of damage during the hard lockdown that they have. All right.
Oh. The opening here with the telekinesis. Mickey considering dropping the Wukong's command. Liquid, they were heading for this with a smoke, but now it becomes clear that Azure, they were ready and prepared. They've got some good deep wards in Liquid's jungle as well to keep an eye on these sort of setups. But Liquid won't get the jump that they hope for.
But they will get that D ward. I was about to say keep an eye out for once Liquid starts spreading out on the map again, that Azure might pounce with the good wards they have, but getting that D ward quite crucial. They're still sticking around though, looking for a potential angle from the top side. Smokes are not available, but they also don't have Moonlight. So this is actually kind of awkward. You don't really have an obvious entry into this. Maybe fishing here with an arrow. Oh, ooh, okay, actually almost got there.
Liquid, bringing it. Sableye getting jumped at the start. If they had the hand of God, but Sabeleye's taken down. They'll lay down the Wukong command. Low, desperately trying to get out of the reach of the ultimate. The BKB's there. He'll be able to separate himself from Mickey. An immediate buyback comes out from Sableye. Liquid, they still want to take this fight. They get the jump over towards the back lines. Tianming goes with the lasso on the wall. Sableye does the jump for XXS with the crush. They're focusing Sableye, but Mickey, he's perfectly fine. BKB's up, turns towards XXS. They'll take the Slardar out. It's Liquid. Can they chase for more? There's still mana in the tank here for Nisha. Closes in onto Tianming. Boundless Strike back up. Liquid, they'll find a third here for Mickey with the triple kill. XM trying to burst Mickey. Won't get him low. He could look to jump in on this.
Oh, he's got dagger king.
They're going to be able to stop it. And now Nisha, he's going to consider getting back in onto him, but low pops the ult. It'll be used for now. Nisha very low on mana. Continue to sort of poke and prod with low at the side of this fight. Nisha, he's sort of clarifying up as well. He could be good to jump again in a second. The mana starts to build back up. Telekinesis is there. Low, he's left exposed. No enrage, no BKB. He's gone. Liquid persists. And with that, no argument about it. They take this fight, and maybe it's not even done yet. XM, see if he's able to play his way out of this one. A quick orb and a blink. They've got the vision, but they've got no way to cancel it. So XM will escape. But that lead that Azure have had for the majority of this game, it's really starting to get taken away from them. Yeah, Liquid, they can open up into the Roshan, playing excellently as a team here in a situation as well where it looked like Azure were going to be able to start the fight from a favorable position. They get the jump onto Saberlight, but at this point, I don't think Saberlight really cares if he's the one that's getting focused, because it's the other heroes on Liquid that are becoming the bigger problems.
I mean, this was clearly by design from Liquid. Saberlight, that was 100% bait, so they could set up the Wukong's command and get off all of their Chen value with Pipe and Hand of God. So this was the way that Liquid wanted to start this fight. I think they were hoping to get more out of it than this, though, to begin with, but the chase through did work out just fine enough. And the key point about this fight here is that Ursa is not a part of it. He's down all the way to the southwest, has already used his BKB and disengaged, and kind of doesn't really want to fight anymore. And then Azure do feel like there's a potential turnaround played, which just wasn't really the case. So Liquid get a very, very great outcome, and arguably the biggest part of this is them getting the second Roach, just taking that away from Ursa to have that power play. You get the cheese here as well now on the Monkey King, so a line of protection against a potential Ursa jump coming down.
Oh, look at this Nisha.
Oh, okay. That was all his mana. Arrow, not gonna find...
Oh, they're gonna jump forward. They get the silence on the two of them, XM. Fight popped here from Liquid. They are prepared if Azure want to try and take this fight, but it's going to be difficult for Azure now to make the call into this Aegis and Cheese period. I mean, what is the plan now for Azure? Do you hold back, try and get the next item or such done on low? Do you look for fights into this Aegis? How do you respond to Liquid?
I don't think you need to be necessarily too concerned about the game slowing down a little bit. The real challenge is to not get found around the map now and get killed off by the Storm +1 combo. But if you play relatively tight but still find okay farm, I think your lineup scales exceptionally well. You have Slardar, Ursa, and Puck. Puck is always a late game wildcard if you get there. He's close to getting the Kaya Sanj, which would be a big upgrade for him, of course. And yeah, if you can weather the storm here and not get too bad of a fight, I think it's okay. Oh,
okay.
Mickey!
Oh, he's going to get knocked back, but he's able to jump off the tree in time. Turns with the boundless strike. They've lost Saberlight at the start of the fight. Of course, this time he doesn't have the option to buy back into the action. Mickey, BKB, gets the Wukong to mana. He pops the cheese. He's back up to full HP. Azure, they've got to start retreating here with the BKB starting to fall low, and XXS, the BKB's come to an end. XXS taken out by Nisha. Low, he's got no further manner of escape. He tries to stand his ground, but the damage is done. Low will fall. Triple kill this time for Nisha.
Foxy was looking for more even there, but can't quite get to Xingqiu. Only had one leap left, so that could have been an extra kill. Liquid with a huge mid game coming through from that one fight top. And keep in mind, Azure were the ones looking for trouble, and they got it.
And I think one of the little things as well that was picked up before that fight, I don't know how much of a difference it made, but Mickey got one of the more favorable neutral items for this sort of situations. He's got the Vindicator's Axe. Now he's
really
much less vulnerable to these kind of jump stun initiations from XXS. He's going to have so much protection. He's going to always be able to get the Wukong's command and BKB, and in that case, the cheese off.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think this neutral item choice made a huge difference there. He might have been burst down if he didn't have that, but all of that armor.
They're going to try and start something, but Liquid, they're ready for it. They'll just grab Tianming straight away. The bat's gone. I mean, XM's trying to do something to slow them down here on the push, but Liquid, they just don't care. They keep on pushing. They're onto the barracks. Nisha, force at the fortification. Now they'll give a little bit of respect here to Azure, backing out from the base.
Yeah, this is the right time to go back, but man, what a huge swing. They gained about 10,000 gold in 4 minutes here. Hex completed now, and Nisha opens up new avenues of killing off the Puck. Obviously, with Kaya Sanj, he's relatively tanky, and I don't think Nisha will be able to solo him, but with just a little bit of extra assistance from like a Boundless Strike or a little bit of a Rubik Burst, the Puck doesn't have the same amount of safety as it once did. We're going to see Saberlight completing an Aghanim Scepter now, so if he becomes the target of the fight, you have this guaranteed amount of damage coming out, and Liquid, yet they're going to keep their foot on the gas. They have 1 minute 30 left on Aegis. No cheese now, of course, after that mid-fight, but still very much an advantage you want to spend here. Send in Nisha, get the vision, burn the Aegis if you need to get a good fight started.
I mean, they know XM's in the trees. Nisha, it's going to be able to find him with that opening. Boundless Strike to follow up. There's no chance for XM, completely locked down. And dead now for 50. No buyback available on the Puck.
This should actually be a lane of barracks straight up. This wave is coming in about 15 seconds. It's going to cut the back door. You start setting up vision with the Venomancer as well. Puck is the primary base defender for Azure, so I think they're going to concede this. And obviously worth noting as well, this is a Batrider position 5 without a dagger, so entering into the fight and finding that setup is very dependent on Puck making the first move. So with him out of the picture,
They might lose 2 sets.
Yeah.
Straight down to the bottom lane. Liquid, they're not going anywhere.
Pushing very fast with that Deso on Mickey, so yep, you're right. There's more than just one lane. I didn't know if they could get more, but they definitely can. They'll get both full lanes here. So huge, huge advantage now, starting to mount.
And it definitely feels like sort of the tale of the last few fights has been that they could jump and kill Saberlight, but Nisha obviously very elusive, and then Mickey just with how much farm he has, they can't burst this Monkey King. 3k HP, Scardy done on top of BKB and this Vindicator's Axe. He is so difficult to jump.
I think this is the type of game where you maybe don't even replace the Vindicator's Axe for Tier 4. I just think it's that good. Attack speed is obviously great on the Monkey King, and the 20 armor when stunned is literally perfect for the lineup you're facing. So you, yeah, I'm not looking at a better Tier 4 item than this one in this game for him for sure, but we'll see if we even get to that point, you know? Tier 4 items are 3 minutes away. Liquid might as well run away with it. If they find one more good team fight after this Tormentor, could look for a smoke play, potentially just finish things off. They're hitting this insane power spike right now. No need to give Azure a chance to come back, but they will look for something of their own again. And this time around, the smoke move from Azure will be against 0 Aegises and 0 cheeses. So maybe, just maybe. But the Monkey King with the axe is a really big problem.
I mean, that's the...
I mean, maybe you just can't go on him first.
I just was going to say, like, how are you looking to start this fight as Azure? Like, who do you want to prioritize at the beginning of a team fight?
I think Storm is the absolute premier target, but he's also probably going to be the hardest one to find. If you're not getting the Storm, Rubik seems like a decent choice, but no, never mind. He has an Eon Disc, so tough. Yeah, there's no easy targets. I think Veno is probably the worst, right? Because he's going to do damage to you anyway. Yeah, not an easy task. They will, I mean, regardless, they will not find anyone. They weren't even remotely close to a hero. Liquid playing the opposite side of the map, and they're making a move of their own, which could bear fruit onto Xingqiu here, potentially. Mickey having the advantage of Monkey King here. And he will break now, Xingqiu. Instant reaction. He comes in from the trees there, that might be different. Oh, wait.
Moxie.
Sentry.
He drops the sentry, the setup's there. The silence, I mean, they'll try and push them back with a flame break. Azure, they really want to try and help him out here. They actually send in Tianming. He gets caught by the hex. They'll jump with the crush. Azure, they're trying to take this fight. They're looking towards Nisha, but Nisha's going to get forced out to the side. He's perfectly fine. This was not a fight for Azure to take. As XXS ticks down, they've got the Yules controller on towards Low. Low completely surrounded by Liquid. The bear is dead. As it's all just becoming a bit too much here for Azure and
You go back in this game 10 minutes ago, about an 80% win expectancy for the Azure lineup.
I mean, Liquid, they've just played this phenomenally.
Absolutely got obliterated. They didn't win anything since they were this favorite, and this is Mega Creep's probably over, honestly. I don't know if you can even stop Liquid if they choose to go for the throne. Like, even if you have all 5 heroes alive, can you still stop the push? Like, this ball just looks way too strong. Nisha now completing the Shiva's guard as well. He's super tanky.
We'll see if they have one final fight in them, but with 40 seconds, no Low. It's looking unlikely. The tier 4 starting to fall. Azure, they're going to have to try something with just the 4 of them. Unlikely that that's going to be able to do anything with the way that the last few plays have gone. The Ancient exposed. They've got to try something soon. They get the jump for Benicia, able to dodge the crush. Silencing on towards Tianming. They get their hex down onto Mirana. Xingqiu's out. There's no further defense to be had here. They'll lay out the Wukong's command, kill off XM. This game, it's going the way of Liquid.